Man, what a day it has been. Uh, working in and of itself always has parts the person may not like. For me, it is, just the distance, the drive. Actually, tomorrow it's probably going to be the parking too because their parking lot is very irritating to get out of, especially when other people are there and they normally are. Um, but man, working while you're sick is it's the worst. And I don't even know entirely what started making me feel not up to par, up to task rather. I guess we could trace this back to probably Wednesday or maybe Thursday. Thursday, I went in and I was kind of having this shaking feeling. And I should also say that it was as if I had some kind of stomach problem. I didn't know entirely what it was. But anyways, on Thursday, I go and I managed to survive the shift. And the first thing I do when I get back here is lay down. Uh, After laying down, I don't wake up again until almost 6 in the morning. I get off at like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock around that time. So I get about 5 or 6 hours of sleep. And this person, I'm woken up because they were ringing their the doorbell over and over. People are very forgetful when it comes to essential things, I see. And after I open it for them, they say never mind, which is always great. They wake people up for no reason. But anyways, after this takes place, I go back. I go and take a shower and I lay back down, and then I don't wake up again until almost 12 in the afternoon. Not 12 in the afternoon exactly, but almost 12 in the afternoon because this same person was trying to call somebody else, and they were asking they were asking a bunch of questions about why the person wasn't answering their phone, and the actual reason that they weren't answering is because they were also asleep. So it was all just really goofy. It's really not surprising that the person was asleep either, because it's like, when have you ever seen them just up in the morning? If they're up all night playing games or doing whatever, they're probably not going to be up during the whatever. Their logic astonishes me. So that was Thursday going into Friday. Friday, I go and I get my a new tire on the car, and then after that, I go to the market and pick up some orange juice. Then I return here and I have a little bit of tea. After that, I lay down. I've got about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours for the shift. Well, the shift starts at 6, but the drive makes it to where you have to. I try to leave about 2 hours early, so I'm never late. Um, and it's crazy. I actually went back to sleep while I was waiting for this video to upload. Like I had the video uploading on this tab, and it was just late. I just laid the computer down, and it was on the. I was just like this, and I woke up and was like, "Oh wow, it's past the time I normally leave." So I get in the car, I drive over there. I get there about an hour early, and I just put this, just with my jacket on, just shivering a little bit, but not as much. Then when I finally get inside, um, I'm let off a little bit earlier than what was intended, which I'm not complaining because of the way I feel. It's just whatever. But yeah, now I have to go back up there tomorrow, 11 a.m., which means I'll probably try to get up at 9 a.m., which is hard to do on a Sunday. Working on the weekend is such a surreal experience for me. Ugh. But yeah, when I woke up today, it was like 10:30 something, and I was thinking of just putting up a video saying I was sick, and then that would be it. Oh, I don't know what this illness is. Sore throat's been a constant through it, I can say that. I was actually given some halls by someone, and it was kind of funny because when I was a kid, I used to really like halls. They were almost like a feel better candy. So to actually be using them for the purpose that they were meant for, which is to feel better or to have your throat get some relief, it was kind of funny. I'm telling you, these people just, I had a relative who's kind of obnoxious, and I mentioned to them in passing that I have two managers I don't like, and I always felt as if when people are related to each other, when they're supposed to be part of a support system, maybe one of them will say something to the effect of, "Oh, what's your problem with this person? How come you don't like that person?" And then you can go from there. Their response is to simply say, "You don't like anybody." Like, not really. If the place has over 10 managers and there's only two of them I don't like, I don't know how that translates to not liking anyone, but whatever. But yeah, I haven't been doing anything these last few days other than either sleeping or going to that job. I just haven't been in the mood. Not even the mood. I just haven't really been feeling it. Like there's so many instances where I'll just try to do something and I just can't. My whole That's why I said like at the job I was worried I'd have like a sluggish performance, and that's what I had. I was trying to lift a few things. It felt more heavier than usual. Oh man. So it's like every time I go up there, I just think about getting off. And it's not even like, oh man, because it's only been for these last two times I've been there, but it's not even like, oh, I just hate the job. So it's like, no, it's literally get off so I can go home and like lay down because I feel like crap. I'm not even saying this to be funny. I can't remember the last time I felt this bad when it came to, like being sick or having some illness. Oh man. Yeah, I wanted more than anything else to probably do FDR Part 1 this year, but I don't I don't think that's going to be possible, which is unfortunate because I do believe in setting deadlines for yourself with stuff. Um, so it's not of any joy to me to be like, oh yeah, here's this thing where I wrote most of the script, but I can't record it because I either don't feel well enough to just get in front of my camera or recording device and you know go from there. So it's very unfortunate that things are the way they are with a lot of this stuff. Oh man. I guess I could mention this Jonathan Majors thing just in passing because it's really interesting. So, uh, this actor got found guilty for being the very violent human being, and Marvel decided to fire him after like within minutes, or I would say within the hour of him being found guilty. They they decided to get rid of him, and this is a really big deal because he was being built up as the new major antagonist that the whole series was going to revolve around for the next several years. It was kind of weird too when I read the text messages between him and his girlfriend, where he was basically comparing himself to Martin Luther King and Obama. It's like, oh, stand by me the way that their wives stood by them. It's like, dude, you're an actor. You're someone who reads lines for a show or movie. That's it. You're not saving anything. You're not in charge of it. It was weird. That's why I said the ego on these people. And when you hear when somebody makes a comparison like that, like of themselves with those types of people, you really do see the ego that some of these actors have. Which is really funny. Of all the people they could have cast as Kang, it had to be somebody with those types of charges by their name. How poetic. It's even worse too because the post-credit scene for Ant-Man 3 shows that all the Kangs look the same, even if they have different appearances in the general sense of like, oh, this one wears this type of hat, this one has, whatever. But like all the variants or alternate versions are played by majors, so they botched themselves even further by having every version of Kang played by the same guy. What a year for superhero movies, man. With the exception of Spider Verse 2, and what's the other one? Guardians 3, they've all been underperforming or outright flopping. And the thing that caps off the year, the last thing that happened related to this stuff before the year is over, is that the actor who was supposed to be the new main antagonist of the whole MCU ends up getting dropped over his real life villainy, so he can't play any fictional villains anymore. It's really poetic. Heck, I kept forgetting that Aquaman 2 came out. But that's another case where, like, no one I know in real life is even talking about going to see it or anything. It's just, it's only being used by people who want to make some money off of it flopping. So they make their little video, they get a few thousand views, they start smiling. They tried to say that Hurt is the reason that the film isn't doing it. Because I said, no, no. All these superhero films, except for two of them that have been released this year, have all been doing very poorly because they're not good films. People are tired of them. It's really not that hard to figure out. Of course, I am still laughing at the person that tried to say that the reason the Marvels had flopped is because the actors couldn't promote it. I find it so comical because it's like, how many people who go to watch a movie, not even just a superhero movie, but like how many people go to watch a movie are like, oh man, I was on the fence about seeing this, but when those actors were out promoting it, they just inspired me to go and check it out. Like, there's a whole bunch of people that never see any. The closest promotional stuff they'll see is maybe a trailer, and then word of mouth, like, hey, in real life, hey man, you got to see this film, it's pretty good. But it's so funny that, like, they really are. I hate to say coping, but what else would you call that? Where these movies are not doing good, they're flopping, they're underperforming, and your rationale for why the films are not doing good is, oh, the actors couldn't promote it. That not oh, maybe this film is about some characters nobody cares about. Maybe nothing having to do with the actual movie itself. Tell you, they will always look for an excuse to justify their own failure. $200 million and it's still a flop. That's another complaint I've had for a while. All these superhero films cost too much to make. The one good thing about being hungry for this day and the other day is that now I'm starting to kind of, I'm thinking that's a sign I'm feeling better, because yesterday I didn't feel like eating anything. God, it's crazy. I'm trying to remember what was the so Aquaman 2 was like filmed around the time where Heard had the case with Depp or whatever. And you had people who were signing this signature to get her out of the movie. It was about 3 or 4 million, I think. Several million, I know, was that number. And in spite of the fact that this year has seen a record level of disappointments for these Hollywood blockbusters, people are really saying that she's the reason the movie is not doing well. And I have to say, I think they're full of crap. I think most of these films have been doing bad because nobody wants to watch them. In Aquaman 2's case, it's a little bit more unique, where it's probably a combination of being told that there will be no sequel to this, so whatever happens doesn't matter. No follow-up, right? Um, I think that's mostly the reason. Who wants to watch the last fires of a dead cinematic universe? That is actually kind of funny that they've had to reset their universe 2 times, where Green Lantern in 2011 was supposed to be the start of the DC, film verse or whatever. Then, when that underperformed, Man of Steel was supposed to be the start of the new universe, and then that one actually did okay. But them trying to play catch up to to Avengers, excuse me, was what caused them to kind of just start going at this accelerated pace. Yeah, I think it'll be a long time before you see a another successful DC movie. Like they might not have another box office success until the Batman Part 2 comes out. And that's really mostly just because it's Batman. Like all the rest of this stuff, you can forget it. Every time I want to sit back and rewatch the Batman, I always have to remind myself it's 3 hours, which does play a big part in my inability to just turn it on. Like today, for example, I wouldn't have a problem even if my main reservation would just be able to watch something new because I always try to squeeze in a new movie. Not new as in new film that just came out, but a film I haven't seen before, like squeeze it in, watch it between the days where I work and don't work. And with a lot of the stuff I've seen before that's long, I'm like, okay, I guess I could watch this, but let me see this and that. Oh man. It's been a pretty slow news, like last several news days too, is what I noticed. I know there was a shooting somewhere internationally. Let's see here. The college to early career pipeline is broken. Here's how to. Oh, that looks like something I'd want to read. That's always the funniest part to me about that school stuff. It's like you go to high school to preschool, middle school, high school, and then you get into a college, and then the people around you are like, "Oh, it costs too much." Okay, so it was all for nothing. Yeah, this stuff is just whatever to me. There's a few stories I could probably do. No, it's been a really interesting year for movies. Just I'm very fascinated by how all these superhero films, and again, it wasn't even half a decade ago, they were on top of the world. Like I remember 2018. I remember you know, the first Spider-Verse, and I wasn't even the biggest fan of it, but like Black Panther, right? And of course Infinity War. Just all this stuff people were excited for. They were going to the theaters back to back. And it really seemed like this stuff was not going anywhere anytime soon. And like what happened? Like here we are 5 6 years later, and what's different between now and then? And that's the problem. It just seems like out of all the stuff that's getting made now, people don't care. They're not interested in this. It's like, ooh, a movie about three Marvel characters that nobody ever heard of. Excuse me, three Marvel characters where one was in a solo movie that made $1 billion because you tricked everyone to thinking that something to do with Infinity War and Endgame. Another two characters that you wouldn't even be familiar with unless you had sat on Disney Plus. I know sometimes the way we react to things can be misinterpreted, but I'm truly happy that that movie flopped and failed and is like the lowest grossing film out of any of the ones in the MCU. I'm glad, because these people need to be taught a lesson. You can't just make movies about random crap that no one cares about and then expect it to do well. I'm very happy. And that's not even about not liking Brie Larson. That's not even about having a problem with you know, I just hate the idea that we have to wait a whole 2 years to get a Fantastic Four movie after what's been almost 10 years. But oh, you want to see this film about these three characters nobody cares about? Oh yeah, here you go. Like I said, if the MCU was really trying to make some money, we would have a Spider-Man movie next year. We'd have a X-Men movie next year, a Fantastic Four movie next year. Well, they probably can't do Hulk, but it's like it's insane to me that like they're making all this stuff nobody wants. Like who wants to see Thunderbolts? What a joke. So yeah, as long as they keep pumping out things that nobody cares about, I'm not. You're not going to see me being sorry or sympathetic towards them. And Secret Invasion was really the last straw for like I was on the fence with the to hell with MCU train for a long time because I said it's too early to tell if they're not going in any direction. Endgame only came out what, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but like now, after they put out Secret Invasion, a show that really should have been a movie, uh, I said forget it. That show is just, oh, what a waste. It's like you finally introduced the idea of the evil scrolls, and you're gonna have like almost no superheroes in this show. And then even with Kang Dynasty, it's like now they went back to just calling it Avengers 5. Oh, they're gonna use Doctor Doom instead. It's like Doctor Doom hasn't even been introduced. I hope they don't ruin him like they did MODOK. Doom is one of Marvel's two best villains, right there with Magneto. So hopefully he'll survive the Fantastic Four reboot, and then after that he can survive the Avengers 5. He's a character that has a lot of potential. That's what I think is so sad about Marvel. They have so many good villains, and just they all get wasted in these stupid live action films. It's embarrassing. Like I still can't get over the fact that we had 4 Thor movies and they never did Enchantress. She's probably his best antagonist besides Loki, and they just never got around to her. It's insane. God, nothing but waste. That's all they know how to do is just botch stuff. It's like, oh, this sounds like a good idea. Okay, let's not do it. That's actually one of the reasons why I was so frustrated with the fact that the Raimi films were not canon to the MCU until, or at least were not like acknowledged as a thing until No Way Home, because uh realistically, after Endgame, they could have had Defoe's Goblin take over as the Iron Patriot, and then like had the Dark Avengers after that, where it's like, oh, this team that you thought disbanded is back, but with villains posing as heroes. Yeah, it's always a shame that people are like this. All these studios and copyright, and this one owns that, and that one owns this. Yeah, it's just like I said, we live in the era of waste. Everything that sounds like it would be kind of cool, they're not going to do it. You know, you had Elizabeth Olsen talking about how she wanted Marvel to adapt House of M, and it's like she admitted they'll never do it, but it's really sad again that they don't own the rights to all their characters. I don't know what I'm hearing out there. But yeah, I almost didn't stream today because I was feeling very bad. I'm still not feeling that great, but I guess compared to Wednesday, I'm not Wednesday, Thursday. It's not as bad. It's mostly just a stuffy nose and sore throat. No, I really wish I had tomorrow off because I don't know. I hate it when you work somewhere and there's like a set number of hours you get used to, right? 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and they want you to come in one day out of the week at uh 10 in the morning or 9 in the morning or 11 in the morning. It's just oh man. No, I'm not surprised when I see these places trying to do the sweatshop stuff. They're like, this person isn't moving as fast as we would like, okay, you're not going at the speed that we're looking for. Yeah. I actually had a conversation with my friend. I guess I can close the stream out with this. Where he and I were talking about goals, like the future. What do you want? Where do you see yourself in 5, 10, 20 years? And we were talking about some of these different relatives, right? The ones that are halfway to 100 or whatever, and they're in whatever kind of condition that they're in. And I said to him, so much of my, I guess, optimism comes from the idea that things will get better. When I say things, I'm talking about like your living conditions. Um, I guess you could say net worth as well. Like it's hard for me to imagine that I could be on this site for 30 years and just not make a cent off of it. But like I just always think about all those factors together. And do you believe things will improve in some drastic way over the next 10 or so years? And I said to him, if I had the circumstances of some of these other people, and I'm, like 50 or whatever, I would end my life. Because at that point there's no hope that it's going to get better or improve. It's been you running in a circle for 2 decades and there's like nothing to show for it. And a lot of times it's a scary thought to think that you'll have this same thing going on in however many years. But I do like to pay attention to certain stuff just to kind of notice what not to repeat or replicate. Like I've said before, I don't want to have kids by multiple different women because every time you do, one of them, assuming that you're not married to all of them at the same, which you won't be, one of them could get spiteful or vengeful and put you on child support. So that always is a concern of mine because I really I don't want to reach middle age and just still be in the same spot as now. I don't want to, you know, have convinced myself, "Oh yeah, things will eventually get better." It's like, no, at that point, it's not going to. And I said before, a lot of times it's these romantic partners you get around to do the parasite stuff where they just kind of drain you for everything you have, right? The leeches. Um, but even like besides them, you have a lot of these what do you call it? Oh man. I said that like I've seen partnerships, relationships, whatever you want to call it, where the man and the woman actually work together. They both have jobs, and whatever rent they're paying, they get to cut in half because both sides are teaming up. A lot of these modern couples, they don't do that. They don't, and it's part of the reason why there's so much struggling. And oh my God, what am I going to do? And That's why I said things have gotten so loony that it's easier to have a kid with someone than get married to them. Not even trying to be funny. It's literally easier to have a kid with someone than marry them. God, everything is so backwards. Imagine having somebody stare up in your car to see like what's in there, right? And then when you actually have a flat tire, which could get you in trouble on the road, especially if you're on the freeway or something, they don't even notice. Like the superfluous stuff that doesn't matter, they have no problem pointing out, but the actual thing that matters, which is you having a flat tire, it completely escapes them. That's why I said it's all just a big cartoon. Yeah, they're always sitting over there lying. I love you. I care so much about you. I don't even like using stock phrases, but actions definitely speak louder than words because it's like the same person that will say they care about you will be the first one to tell you to get out of my house if you do anything they don't like. It's all just a bunch of lies. That's why I said everything just feels so fake. No, they're always sitting over there just lying, lying, lying. No truth spoken ever. I remember when we did the self-parody stream, we had a conversation about why do they keep saying that they care about someone, but then they can't do like the most basic things for them. And one of my subs theorized that it's just to make themselves feel better, which I do believe because it's a fact that people will often tell somebody something more so to convince themselves of it than to convince the person. So it's not something I dispute. So many lies just get told over and over again. It's funny too because during that stream, not that same one, but another one, when that person walked in afterward, they said, "I hate you," and it's like I didn't even react to it at all. Of course, they could spin it later and say they said out of anger, but it's like that's exactly what I've always believed. It's been either apathy or distaste. I mean, it's not hard to see where based off of their actions you could be convinced that yeah, they don't it does they're not really concerned about you. Oh man. It's the same thing when I go and do a job. It's like you go there, you have some coworkers that start asking you a bunch of questions about what do you like to do and how old you are and what jobs you've had in the past. And it's like, why? Because make no mistake about it, you stop working there, you're never going to see any of these people again. And sure enough, not a single one has ever asked me for my number. Like your entire relationship with them is predicated on the fact that you're working somewhere, but they don't give a damn. Which again is cool. I don't expect coworkers to care about me, but it's just funny when they start asking all these personal questions and try. Like I still can't get over at the place I worked there for 4 days, and I had the woman go up to me, "What's your major?" And then, "What do you like to do?" It's like, "I like to draw." What do you like to draw? God, remember when you stop working there, just vanish. That's what I said. Everything is just so fake. Like everything is all just a big spoof, a joke, a parody. None of it is real. So interested in getting to know you. That's why when you stop working here, you'll never hear from me again because I couldn't be bothered to ask you for your number or give you mine because I'm not actually interested in getting to know you. I'm just very nosy towards the people I work with. Oh, it's just awful. It's just so many spoofs. I don't know. After a while, you just kind of get used to it. Just all the pandering and all the pretending. You don't start to believe any of it, but you're just like, okay, whatever. People say this, they do that, they claim this. Too many lies get thrown around, and it's like, how is that benefiting them to just sit there and make stuff up about who they care about, and are they if they're worried about seeing you or talking to you? It's just I don't understand the logic of it personally. It's just weird. I think that thing is sleeping. Oh man, I just hope that I'm able to get some more rest tonight, and then tomorrow morning won't be as bad. Yeah, talk about the gift and the curse of working. Like I wouldn't even care about driving over there, even if I do think the drive is a little far, whatever. If it weren't for just the way I'm feeling, like I feel horrible. Again, better than Thursday, where the first thing I did when I came back was just lay down and just pass out. But I still don't feel that great. Oh, Jem, you show up right as I'm trying to wrap this up. Yeah, I wasn't even planning on streaming today because I listen on Wednesday. I was feeling so bad from whatever sickness I came down with that I like got home and passed out, or excuse me, Thursday morning rather. And I didn't wake up again until like almost 12 o'clock, basically. Like just was knocked, just passed out for half the day. Um, Last night, no, I don't think it's that. I don't believe that. That virus is gone. But I was saying that it's mostly just been a sore throat and a stuffy nose. Uh, but when I got back yesterday morning, it was like 12 something. I went to sleep about 2 hours later, and by the time I got up, it was like 10:30, 10, like a little bit past when I would usually stream. So I was debating not even doing one of these, but I said I don't want Jem to get mad and call me lazy. So, well, I still haven't fully recovered. It's just not as bad as it was on Thursday. Now, Jem saw how lazy I was when I put up LBJ Part 4. He saw just how little I'm able to accomplish. I just came in already agreeing with what you're saying. Really good to know you've still got a position at your current workplace. Oh, Megumi, I haven't seen you in so long. I'm actually gonna end up demodding you and blocking you, and the reason for that is because I put up this video. You might have actually heard of it. You probably haven't seen it. I know you didn't leave a comment, but it was called, where's that damn thing? Free dating sites unusable. People spend hundreds a month on dating apps. And I thought, I said, this is tailor made for Megumi. He's gonna love this video. And each week that went by, I just sat there and I saw no comment from you, and I just kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And like, yeah, like even Jem commented, he doesn't even like women. But I just sat there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. So this is your last day on my channel. I'm gonna snap my fingers and then you'll be gone. You're gonna end up like the DCEU where your whole universe gets deleted. Yeah, Jem, the next one of those should be FDR Part 1. I've got most of the script written for that. But don't expect it this week. I wanted to finish it this week, but I just haven't been feeling good, man. Like so you'll probably call me lazy, and you can do that if you want. No, I'm surprised I still have a position. You know, it's usually after the first 2 to 8 weeks that they get rid of me. So I'll put it this way: if I'm still working there by February, it'll be a new world record. What do you mean why? I just haven't been feeling good. Man, when I saw that they said people will spend 2,000 a month to sit on some stupid website, I said anyone with that much disposable income, I mean, you have to be a millionaire to even be able to do that. They're spending more on these sites than rent costs. Or the lady that moved to a whole other city just to find a romantic partner. It couldn't be me. I'll go to a different city, to visit it or to travel or whatever, but not to. I'm not moving over there to try in vain to meet somebody. That's nuts. Oh, Megumi, I wanted to ask you if I did a documentary on Arnold. You know what Arnold I'm talking about, right? Would you watch it or no? because it would mostly be about his acting career, at least like the probably I'd say the first 2 or 3 parts of it, and we wouldn't get into the stuff with him as governor, political stuff until probably like part 4 or 5 or something. I was just curious. Rewatched it a few times as well. Truth be told, hear the ridiculous stuff that was said. I can't believe people actually spend $2,000 a month on dating sites. Well, I asked because where's that damn thing? I got his memoir right here. I was reading some of it. He knew a picture to put on the back. Dating is a joke. You need a guest box. I can't type while driving. We'll pull over or wait till you're at home. I'm not trying to get you to crash. No, if I do another edited romance video, it'll be the romance comic book. Again, it really just comes down to I haven't been in much of an editing video mood at all. Like I'm telling you, on Thursday, Friday, I was passed out. I came home, I put on my little blanket and was like this for 6 hours. Then I took a shower and went to sleep again. Didn't wake up till almost 12. So if edited stuff gets delayed, it's because I just really do not feel that great. Oh, Megumi, you didn't see the this is actually kind of funny. You didn't get to see the streams, the nonsense that happened last Saturday, where it's really cool you got a position after all this nonsense of hire to fire or employers giving you the runaround. Oh, I got fired by the other place I was with. Remember I told you the story of how I took the other one that's further away from where I live because they weren't giving me enough hours. They're giving you like 4 or 8 hours a week, which is like nothing, right? So the other one was giving me more hours, and I said, okay, I'll give you guys 2 weekdays where you can have me come in and work for this other place, right? Because you're already barely using me anyway. So surely you can squeeze me into those 2 days for some part of either one of them. And the place went a whole week without using me. Then they used me again, and then they had me come up there. I think it was last Friday. Yeah, last Friday, and told me, "Oh, you're not here when we need you." It's like, man, get out of my face. I got my last check and I walked away. I tell you what my friend said when he goes on TV and has to give the interview. He's like, "Hey, what do you think about Justin's new job?" They're gonna take it from him again. And you see that giant hand slowly reaching to just take the job, snatch it away. Dude, like Megumi, imagine having a job where they don't use you, right? They don't have you barely there at all. So you're like, okay, you know what? That's cool. I got this other place. They're using me. And then when you start working for the other place, they say, "Oh, you're not around when they actually get out of my face." Yeah, sorry. I want more than 8 hours a week. To hell with that. No, last Saturday was it was like a nuclear bomb went off. I mean, you weren't here for it, Megumi. They must have done that to you. Yeah, of course. That's what they do. They hire people and get rid of them. They had two or three new people there when I came today that they terminated me. So it's whatever. I'm not losing any sleep over it. Normally I'd be upset, but considering I have another job that gives me more hours and these people weren't giving me any in the first place, hardly, it's really not a big deal to me. Uh no, Jem, I know you left a comment, but you probably weren't here for it. My stream last Saturday got crashed. And when I say crashed, I don't mean like, oh, the internet was acting up. No, it was somebody was ear hustling and they decided to try to tell me to turn it off, and were screaming and hollering for about 4 minutes before I eventually was like, all right, this is stupid. Well, it's like this. Usually when I talk about relatives, I kind of speak in this vague manner, right? Like I'm like, okay, this relative did this person did that. I never like say, oh, this is my, I don't know, grandmother, right? Or anything like that. And this person was able, they were like standing by that door and they pieced together that I was talking about them. So they like slammed the door and they were like, shut it off. I'm like, what the hell? And I kept the stream on for a solid like several minutes because I was just shocked that they were even this aggressive over you know, it's like, just remember what I said in the self parody, that stream, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But basically they wanted me to spend $6,000 in 2 weeks. And I said, look, I just don't have the amount of money for this. Um, Now one of these things is like 3,000, and I could, I have that amount and I could pay it. And it's due by like the end of the month or whatever. But the other thing is something that we can put off literally indefinitely if we wanted to. So I said to them, hey, why don't you just let me save up to get to this amount instead of spending every last damn cent I have? Uh, because again, this person, charges me just to stay with them. So it's like you literally could have nothing in the bank and they still would be like this. Man, when I saw that text message where they said that I was so cheap and ungrateful, I'm like, are you out of your damn mind? I'm cheap for not wanting to spend every last damn cent of money I have in 2 weeks. Well, you know what it is that like they were failed by their own system where you have this person who's unemployed for almost a year and they just started working somewhere a month ago, right? They've only been working somewhere for just a month, and they still on top of that have to like pay for their own gas, food, etc. And as they're trying to kind of get back on their feet a little bit, you're like, oh, pay for this thing that is several thousands of dollars that if we wanted to, we could actually stave off for. No, what I'm saying is like if you have a fee with somewhere, that's something that has to be done this month, the 3,000. But the other stuff, we could wait until February, March, April. Like there's really no reason why there has to be this like rush to do it. And that was the point I was making of how they're literally not paying for anything, but they want you to spend every last damn cent you have for that. Yeah. It's not a huge priority. I'm saying you can't win with these people. But when they said that I was cheap and ungrateful, I laughed. I said, imagine telling somebody that doesn't want to spend damn near $7,000 in 1 month that they're cheap. In an era where most people can't even afford $1,000 emergency, you're like, oh yeah, it's nuts, man. No, Jem did show up on that stream, but he probably left his computer. He said like greetings or something to that effect, and then he was gone. So he probably didn't hear it. They actually shouted my name on like as I was turning it off, like shouted my full name, my first name, middle name, and it was funny because it's like, do they think I'm like I have like a fake name on there or something? Like you can see who I am, you know what my name is. Like, God, the delusions, man. People have, well, hey, they really think they're doing something. Telling you, I live in the twilight zone. Like my favorite line must have been an attempt to try to embarrass you on your own stream, maybe, but it doesn't work. Like I'm very open about stuff. I had a guy that tried to say that I was gay for like all the women stuff, which you know I don't know why a man who's into other men would be talking about hard disk, but whatever, whatever. And it's like I'm not embarrassed. Like I'm not. People who are actually ashamed of something, they don't come on camera and get in front and put their face all out there and go, yeah, this is me. Like, so it didn't work. Hey Megumi, what did the goblin say when Aunt May stuck the thing in his neck? It didn't work. Dude, my favorite part is they said that I give them the 140 for supplies. And I'm like, the only thing they apparently get with it is toilet paper. So when did toilet paper start costing $140? But then like they screamed, I'm not getting you food, you're an adult. And I just thought it was funny. And I'll always mention this because I don't care. Hey, Jem, you didn't. That's the funniest part. That like when they had their big full freak out, nobody saw it. Because most of the streams I have to actually like have views on them, it's like replays. People watch it after the fact, so no one actually saw them acting crazy. And they were talking about you're recording everything. It's like I'm literally like, okay, Megumi, you understand that if I'm recording myself doing this stream and then somebody walks through the door and starts trying to talk to me, that it's like you can't say I'm recording you if you knew I was recording myself and you walked into my recording. He's recording me. It's like, no, he was recording himself, and then you walked into the camera. Or I guess like, by the camera. Man, I tell you, that person sounds insufferable. Oh, don't worry, we still have the stream. It still exists. Maybe. Problem is, I can't play it without getting demonetized. So, like literally, if I played it, I get the yellow dollar sign. I was like, okay, I'm not going to bother with it. There's so much cursing. They're very insufferable, and what it is that they portray themselves as this very poor, struggling individual, and like I get it; it's a hard time for people economically, but what's so interesting about them is in that same vein, they have this like uppity position about other people. Like, so for example, if I'm someone who I'm so poor, I barely have anything. I'm on my last leg financially. You're not going to see me say to somebody else, "Oh yeah, spend every last damn cent you have this month." You're being cheap if you don't do it. You see what I mean of how like it's amazing that they want sympathy from other people but they can't give it back. It's just one-sided. They're just so poor, but everybody else is supposed to just like they don't care about, hey, are you struggling financially? Are you having troubles as well? Because As I've said before, I didn't have a job for 11 months. So I'm not exactly in the green myself, but it's like you would think this person would, express some type of understanding of that, but I guess not. That's just how these people are. They're always ready to throw somebody under the bus. No, they are very insufferable. And trust me, if I had my way, I would be away from them as fast as I could. So much antagonism, so much nastiness. It's crazy. Oh, sun's going down. I guess I'll turn the light on now. I would not want to see that. That type of behavior is just bad. I guess the person was trying to embarrass you. Well, it didn't work, man. Like, they all talk trash, but I don't really care. So they can get mad all they want. It's whatever to me. Honestly, I'm just really disappointed that they act like that. Oh, but this was actually a point I wanted to make because I was trying to wrap this up before people actually start showing up. So, Jem, I don't know how old you are. Like, I don't know. You don't have to tell me, but if slash when you became 50, do you see yourself living paycheck to paycheck? I just hope they don't start being even more antagonistic to you after hearing you talk about them in a stream. I don't know, man. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. They haven't mentioned it since it happened. Maybe they do have short term memory loss because they really like to ignore what happened back in May. Oh, that's this question for you too, Magumi. If you when you get to be 50, do you see yourself living paycheck to paycheck? Or you being bullied? They try to, it doesn't work. Hell damn no, I would not want that at all. Okay, since people like to try to put my name out there, that is that person's fate. Um, and we could go over the circumstances that led to that. But I guess I'll put it to you like this. If not even 50, if I was like 45 or even 40, and every month I'm worried if I have enough money to stay at wherever I'm living, um, and if I do have children, they're with multiple different partners I'm not married to, and I've got some woman putting me on child support, and I've got a expensive car note, and I would end my life. I'm not even trying to be funny. I would honestly just find a bridge or maybe go and get some weapon from somewhere and just end my life. Because the idea that like a lot of people when they're in those first couple of years after high school, college, whatever, um, there's a through line of what they expect to see over the coming years, right? And the idea that you're supposed to just not have anything, evolve or advance for two straight decades, three straight decades, it's like a nightmare. By the way, I think paying for a car that you already own is stupid. I don't care what anybody says. No, Megumi, if you're worried about the rent of your place, are you going to buy a car that you now own, or are you going to lease a car and have to keep making payments on it? Because I own my car. The only thing I pay for is the insurance and obviously the gas, and of course when something happens to it, like a wheel backs up or uh, you know some other part of it is not going right. But you get my point, right? Of like, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, don't you think it's counterintuitive to have a car that you have to keep making payments on? Like, there's no end to it. Yes, that is my actual name. That's why when they shouted my name out, it was funny. It's like, oh, Jem, wouldn't you rather own a car than lease one? Because I don't see the benefit of having to keep paying for something you already own. Was this my brother? Nah, my brother's a little kid. He wouldn't bother coming in here acting crazy like that. The only person that hurt me was Jem when he didn't respond to my video. That was the one time I was hurt. Dude, I'm just imagining like in 20 years or 25 years or whatever, living paycheck to paycheck and then also having to keep paying for for not for car insurance for car insurance is way cheaper than other stuff for a car note and then also having to like pay child support for some. Yeah, I don't know, I think he grew out of doing streams with me. He's into his own thing. I've been trying to get my friend to do it. What it is that every Saturday he's busy, and then on Monday he goes to work, and he's like mostly sleeping during the day. Like this Monday, I don't go to work, but he does. So it probably would have to be like a random day of the week. And I'm probably just gonna accept it's gonna get demonetized because he'll start cursing and talking like a drunken sailor. I just don't understand the point of leasing cars. Like you just keep it like it never stops. Just this is you every month. I just find that to be so goofy. Yes, same. I definitely try to own one, but the argument there is most would say it's more expensive to buy one outright. Well, it depends, man. I mean, I want you to think of it this way. Let's say, because I've seen cars go for as cheap as 3,000, which 3,000 that's some little itty bitty amount of money. But think about this: would you rather spend 3,000 one time within I mean, that car could last you several years. Would you rather spend 3,000 and have a good car for what possibly could be somewhere anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 years, or keep leasing a car and having to keep making payments on it over and over again? You understand where, like, in the long run, you are better off, in my opinion, with owning it. Yes, leasing one over time, the money adds up. Dude, they're charging like, dude, if leasing a car was maybe 40 a month, 50 a month, okay, whatever. I've seen leases that go for 300, 400, $500. I had a cousin who, while they did not have their own place, right? And they had a good car, good car that drove, whatever. They went and started leasing a car that was about 500 a month for them to pay off. And I was like, at this rate, you're never gonna I didn't say something. I was like, you're never gonna have any damn money. Like, that's really stupid. So I said, if you want a lease, you can have it. It's part of that short-term thinking. And it is short term because these leases, they add up, man. They're not cheap. Hell, a lease for a car, I mean, that's actually that's more than damn near all the food I eat in a month. They're very expensive. So if you want to lease a car, go ahead. You won't see me wasting all that money. But dude, like, imagine living paycheck to paycheck and you're like, all right, let me add another expense on top of this. My favorite part of the stream being crashed was I've seen leases for one. Oh, I believe it. And Megumi, think about this. If that 1,200 is per month, that means that instead of leasing some very expensive car, within 3 months you could save 1,200 and buy yourself like actually buy yourself a car. I think of it as an investment when buying something like that outright. Look, all I'm saying is I really believe people who lease cars are making a mistake. You'll be saving yourself money that you would have spent overtime in installments. Yeah, it just costs too damn much. My favorite part of the crashing was when they said, I'm not buying you food. You're an adult." And I was like, man, we really have to flash back to 2015 when I was underage, and when we would go to the fast food joints, I had to spend my own money to even be able to eat because that person was singing the same song of how poor they are even back then. You see how revisionist history works, where people just pretend like the reason that they have now is what like is legitimate, even though anyone who's really familiar with what's going on here can tell you, oh no, this is just another excuse, the long line of reasons why they can't do things for this person. I do agree with just owning a car. Yeah, I think if I can stay at this place for about 6 months, maybe a year, I'll probably try to get another car. Jim says, I know you're looking forward to Valentine's Day. I know that's a joke. I don't know. I just keep thinking about the future. I don't like I'm not even trying to sound morbid, but due to the absence of a romantic partner, I don't see myself having to spend some crazy amount of money on some stupid woman. Um, and of course, there's always like little things that happen with cars, right? This stops working here, that stops working there. Uh, I think it's too early to tell if I'm going to end up having the same fate as that person because a lot of their expenses are tied to them having you know, things that they don't need to pay for but do anyway. So I guess we'll see. Oh yeah, I did forget to mention you doing oh yeah, I did forget to mention something to you during the earlier part of the stream. Oh, you have to speak now or forever hold your peace. Does who work? Jim, I don't even know if you're talking to me or to one of your mob friends. Who work? I was also going to mention that the last job I was working, there was this woman who was one of my work colleagues who worked with me that actually got my number from the work group chat. Dude, on my job, they have an app where it shows like who's working what day, what shifts, and you actually can get other employees' numbers through that app. Now, no one's done that to me so far, but that's what that reminded me of. The worst part is I have about 3 coworkers with the same first name, so I don't even know which is which. When I pull up the app, and she asked me how I was, etc. after I left the job. Of course, I never had this done to me before, so it was very surprising. But literally after 2 weeks passed, never heard anything from her since. Can't say I am surprised. No, it's all short-term interest. I mean, I hate to tell you this, but people just don't care. Like they're curious, maybe a little bit, but your sudden sickness could be stress. Well, I am very stressed out about getting to the job on time, to where I leave a whole 2 hours early just to get there. It really, honestly, would probably take with regular traffic about 50 minutes to get there. Um, but I always try to make sure because the first day I came, I underestimated the traffic and ended up being late. So I've been trying to avoid having that happen again. Can't say I am surprised. Yeah, I'm sure you want to believe she actually wanted to speak to you and see how you were doing, but it's just like Thanos said, reality is often disappointing. Does the person who crashed your life, do they? Well, the short answer is yes, but they were on disability for 5 months because people who are struggling financially do things like that. They go on extended breaks from work, right? That's what people who are financially not the top of their game do. So they just went back to work for the first time since I think June or July. And I'm not kidding when I say that. They've been off of work since the summer. They just went back this week. And I didn't even believe they were going to go back until they did. I was like, wow, because they said they were going back last month too. It's just what you said about this correlates a lot with that experience. The people you work with at first try to feign interest in you. All this small talk when you're working there. The moment you stop working there, you never hear from these people ever again. Yeah, they don't care about you. And man, it doesn't matter how long you work there either. You could be there for a few weeks. You could be there for a month. You could be there for 2 months. They don't care. The second you stop working there, just get out of here. I told you there was a young lady, and she was, nice looking, whatever. Uh, what's your major? What do you like to do? Guess what? Guess what? I came in there one day as a regular person. They made my food. She didn't even notice me. Wait, what do you mean 2 hours? I tell you, I'm not surprised, man. They don't care. Like when I was working at this, you probably don't remember Megumi, but there was a restaurant I was with about 2 years ago. And I think I told you that like the manager threatened to fire me on my first day, something like really insane, right? I had a coworker who was like asking me how I was doing and uh oh, I didn't know you were left-handed, little stuff like that, you know. But guess what? After you get fired, never hear from them again, never see them again. That's it. It's just this new place is even more egregious because they have the your antagonist seems like a jerk. No, I didn't stream for 2 hours. I streamed for about 20. It was like 27 minutes, and then they came in there. I was like, what the hell? Oh, I can't help but think that after the stream's over, I still have to record like 2 or 3 videos. I literally have not eaten anything today. I had like a piece of a cake, and that was it. Oh, speaking of cake, um, I have this. So my job has like 10 different managers, and you know what it is. They want to like make sure they have somebody that's ahead above everyone else that can tell people what to do or whatever when you're there. Um, no, it's not a young lady. But what I thought was funny is that I have two of the managers that I don't like, and one of them is like so massive and huge and God, I just when she said she had a boyfriend when she was talking, I overheard her talking to her coworkers. I just shook my head. A woman, huh? Makes sense. Dude, there's what I'm telling you, I keep noticing this pattern. Out of all the guys that work at that place, there might be two of them that are a little bit, maybe a little chubby, whatever. But when you're talking about like, just massive, huge, giant, uh, it's all. I swear, man, I'm not seeing that many guys that are like that anymore. It's only women. Conveniently, it seems to be women that are obese or huge. Yeah, there's two of them that are big, like huge, right? We're not gonna just say obese, just huge. They have some other ones up there that are kind of, maybe not skinny, but not like you know that. But there's two of them that are like this, and none of the guys are like that. So when you see like morbid obesity, it's always women for some reason. I don't know why. Uh, I really don't know why, but it is what it is. 10 managers, insane. Yeah, that was my thing. They have too many managers. Like, actually, no, let me count. Is it 10? We have the one guy, lady, the other one, the other guy. It's got to be at least nine, or like if it's not 10 exact, it's at least nine. They have a lot of them. The worst shift I ever had was the one that ended. I was supposed to get off at 1 in the morning. It ended at 2:30. And by the end of it, it was literally just me, one of the managers, and this guy stuck in the store. Like she would not let us leave. I wanted to rip my hair out. Like, can I go home? No, they were huge. I wouldn't even waste my time with that gem, honestly. Like, I really wouldn't even bother. But I don't know what it is. It seems like every time I see a truly obese individual, it's almost always a woman. Like I've seen, you aren't alone with that, dude. My last manager was huge as well. She has a thyroid issue. A woman as well, of course. Yeah, and it's like all these guys work the same jobs and they're skinny. But even the guys that are like not like I would say slim, they still are nowhere near as big as these chicks are. Just eating and eating and eating. I'm not even kidding. I've barely eaten in the last like 2 days. Like yesterday I had some fries and that was it. And then today there was like a piece of a cake and that was it. They are massive. Trust me, if I didn't have my rule, I would show some pictures because it's crazy that they're that big. Like you might not even know what I'm talking about. The ones where when they put on a pair of pants, you can like actually see you can like actually see like the pants part like sticking out like where the crotch is like they're so massive that you you would almost think the pants are gonna rip off. That's oh my god. I don't know why they look this way. I have no idea. It's a mystery to me, but they do. My favorite quote ever was when he said, when he was talking to this woman, he was like, "Hey, if you're not under 100 pounds, we can't go any rounds." And ever since then, every woman he dates, they're all in shape. Such horrible stuff, but there are guys who like that kind of thing and get with them. Yeah, both of them. One of them is married. Like literally, what the one that is so big to where you can actually like see the pants bulging or whatever is married. I said, man, this is a cartoon. No, I was glad that Gray was gone. I didn't want to see him again anyway. I was fine with his absence. I wish it was longer because all he wants to do is go around promoting books. Imagine you go to a stream and somebody and in the comment section, hey, did you get Marjorie Taylor Greene's new book? Like, no, no. So I wasn't upset that he left. Over here promoting his favorite congresswoman. And they were spent. No, dude, it was regular like slack type pants. Like regular like dress pants, right? Regular like black pants. Maybe they were jeans. I don't know. I wasn't paying that much attention, but like you could see it bulge, like the bottom part bulging out. Like she's got that circular shape. No, Megumi, if you're a woman, you can be whatever weight you want and you will find a man. I thoroughly believe that. They are huge. Couldn't be me, man. Forget. I told you that if someone came up to me and they said, you can either date a woman that looks like this and they showed these two's image, or you can be single for the rest of your life, I will pick the latter option. I would rather never see another woman in any kind of intimate position ever again if that's as good as it gets for me. You can have them. To hell with it. I'm serious. I don't want anything that resembles that at all. Dude, I'm not kidding. They're so big. Like it's not even I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. Let me think. It's like the pudgy arms and legs and the torso's like stretched out and they have like the double chin part that goes like down here. It's bad, man. Hey Megumi, I so close to breaking my rule, but I can't. We're gonna have to have some damn private unlisted stream for that. Apparently, it is attractive to some guy. Dude, I'm telling you, if you saw And you know, I'm not even gonna say I genuinely don't believe either of them are ugly. Like I'll put it this way: if they lost a lot of weight, they probably wouldn't look half bad. But it's just the idea that like one of them like is just is like this, and they're married. A guy was like, "Yeah, I'll put a ring on that." And then you had this the other one who has a boyfriend. I'm just like, who wants this? No, don't bring up some actual famous person. Like you expect famous people to have partners. I'm talking about random chicks that work at a restaurant. There's no reason that like it's whatever. Like again, I just contrasted with how I've been treated, and it is literally like the Twilight Zone. And remember, if you're a guy but you don't have muscles, go to the gym, go to the gym, go to the gym. If you're a woman who's like 5'3", 5'4", 5'5", but you weigh 270, 280 pounds, body positivity. God. I'm not even saying this to be funny. Like I get more depressed like knowing that they look that way and then expecting them to just like just knowing that they're it didn't matter. To be loyal is the equivalent of expecting a college student to not go into debt. Well, I went to college and didn't go to debt, get into debt, so I don't know what your point here is. Hey Greg, can you leave? I don't really feel like talking about her today. I know you're just here to promote some books, but I'm not in the mood. You're trying to show off for your hero, hoping that she'll put you on her staff. But no, I don't want you to come over here and turn into a walking talking billboard. And now Jem is spamming comments. He said thyroid issue. I don't know how many minutes ago. Okay, there's the book. There's the book. Now we'll all go out and buy it. Now your work is done, Gray. There. Winning Team Publishing's greatest novel. There you go. Sometimes I don't even think Jem is a real person. He's got these AI generated responses. Now, the most insane thing you said was that she should be speaker. Speaker is a job you don't usually get until after at least 10 years in the House. So that's a far cry from anything she's ready to have. What's the lady from New York, Stefanik? She's more likely to get it first because she's been around way longer. Yeah, Megumi, if you ever wonder what standards men have, spoiler alert, the answer is none. They don't have any type of reservations about anything. They will date whatever, whoever. It's sad. Like I'm embarrassed that whatever. Men have no standards. Anything goes. Whatever you like. This actually hurts women in the long run as well, since they aren't really interested. They aren't really incentivized to actually stay in shape and take care of themselves. Yeah. Well, that's one of the problems with, the I guess the current dating model where it's like as bad and toxic as it is for men, at least there's some type of incentive towards earning more money or exercising or whatever, right? Like chicks don't have anything. They don't have to do a single thing to get a partner. They're accepted right off the bat from whatever how she looks. Yeah, they don't no one cares. So men will take anything. We as a collective have no standards. And again, I don't even think these chicks, I wouldn't even call them ugly. They're just very obese. And no one, certainly not the husband of one or the boyfriend of the other, seems to really be bothered by how big they are. Actually, I didn't even get to mention this, but last year when I was working for this, it was at the place where the crazy lady said, "You should be done," acting like she was my boss when we had the same position. Um, the second in command manager, so like the person who was the ahead on top of everybody except the main manager, uh, they were she was obese. Like so much so that she actually said her fat a word like while walking over somewhere. Basically, she was self-aware that she was fat. I'm telling you, man, there are so many overweight women. Oh my god. You do come across those self-aware overweight chicks, but majority seem to not care. Well, the problem is even the ones that are self-aware, if they're not exercising, then how much do they actually care? You know what I mean? Like I could say, "Oh man, I have all these videos that I still need to do." Like, I mean, I'm self-aware. I have a lot of stuff I need to do, but if I don't do it, what difference does it make? Self-awareness has to be accompanied by actions, right? And if those actions aren't there, then you could be self-aware until the cows come home. Trust me, she had a husband too. God, they're all so big, man. That's the craziest thing to me. All the guys are skinny, or maybe some of them are like a little chubby. These chicks, they have the whole double chin, the little like fingers with the big, elbow. It's crazy, man. The other one had the bulging pants. Like, oh my god. Hello. Oh man, I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. Oh man. I'm gonna go for like 5 more minutes. I'm gonna get off of here because I gotta I'll get something to eat. The one good thing about tomorrow is I get off early. Well, early by my standards at 7 instead of the usual 1 in the morning. But yeah, these obese women, they're all over the place. And you know what's really sad? I have another um manager up there who's not like she's not a twig or anything, but she's not I wouldn't necessarily call her obese. And it's like I would still say I find her fairly attractive. It's like really sad that they try to a lot of these like computer people try to pretend that if you criticize women on their weight, you're expecting everyone to be this anorexic 100-pound limp no, it's we're talking about like morbid obesity, just ridiculous levels of uh of weight on these people. Oh man, I know what I'm doing after this stream. I am laying right back down. I might get some soup. I think I still have a few in the container, and then after that, I don't know. I'll try to watch something. But yeah, this stream wasn't even intended. I had resolved. I was thinking I might not even do one today, but I said, hey, you know what? Tomorrow I have to work, and then Monday I'll be available. But still, streaming on Christmas. Oh, I just realized my eggnog probably expired. Damn. I think it was December 22nd. And I hadn't been usually when it's getting close to the due date, I start drinking it up, but I hadn't been drinking it these last few days because I just haven't been feeling well at all. So I'll probably buy another one. I think they sell them through New Year's, so that'll give me enough days to just go and pick it up. But no, I find it so comical that when you come online, people attack you for your appearance over and over and over again, and then like in real life, you have these people who are because I said before that I'm not going to pass away from being ugly, but a lot of these chicks are they're overweight enough to where they could in a few years have some serious heart issues, and people just don't really seem to care. Nobody really sits them down and says, hey, you need to. And I don't feel like it's my place to say that because I haven't been there for that long, but it just seems really sad to me that there's always this group of people who can make you as a man feel bad for whatever your condition or position or situation is. But when you're talking about these women, right? No, just shut up. Shut up. Shut up. It's a real fascinating contrast, if you know what I mean. Yeah, hopefully I can get over this illness in the next couple of days. I really did just feel pretty bad for all of Thursday, all of Friday, and then for today too. Not as bad Friday and today, but still. You have anything planned for Christmas? Not really. I mean, that's the problem with all these holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween. I had people, I mean, you go watch We Can't Go Back. I had people I celebrated it with, and now they're all deceased. So they're just another event. But yeah, I hope you have a good Christmas. If you have enough time, you can stop by on my planned Monday stream. Uh, I'm not even kidding, man. I like the same two of those three relatives for every Christmas. We would go over one of their siblings' house, and they would have a bunch of presents and food, and it was every single Christmas. Um, and then for Halloween, one of those three would always have stuff at the house, and having kids come around, trick or treat, etc. Then for Thanksgiving, the other one would always make food. So all of these holidays are just dead to me. When you have people that do stuff and you get used to it, and then suddenly they don't do it anymore, it's all hollow. So my only hope is I can do this stream, and thanks, I can relate to you. So I believe it'll be somewhat a normal day, maybe. Well, but yeah, I'll be there. I appreciate it. I'll try to do it in the morning. Uh if not the morning, it'll be at some part during that day. I don't see myself going anywhere. So have a good rest of your weekend, and hopefully I can get over to my job tomorrow and not want to pass out. Uh Thanks for showing up, and have a good rest of your night.